How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to New Mexico State Men's Basketball News. I'm Marshall, and as you guys can tell by the background, back here in Las Cruces with all my Aggie posters in the back, some football, basketball, soccer, all sports. In today's video, we're talking about how the Aggies split this past weekend, lost to Liberty by 2, beat Delaware by 29. I feel like if you were a betting man, I feel like a lot of people could predict that was going to happen, lose to Liberty, beat Delaware. But man, they were so close to beating Liberty. Got them by 17 in the first half, wasn't looking good, showed a lot of fight in that second half, and had a big chance to get the win. Just came up short at the end. We'll talk about that. Got a huge win against Delaware by nearly 30. I will say this. If you're a betting man, like I said earlier, predicted them to lose to Liberty, beat Delaware, you'd be right. But the way they lost and the way they won, not so sure if people can predict those outcomes, especially with how the Liberty game started. I feel like a lot of fans probably thought, the Aggies would lose by 15 or more, get blown out. And beat Delaware, but maybe beat them by like 10 to 15, not by nearly 30, and score almost 100. If you can do that against any Division I team, that's very impressive. They're now 10-7 overall. They got that 10th win, which is great, halfway to 20, which they still have a chance to get. It's going to be tough to do, but they still have a chance to get it. And 3-4 in conference, still a losing record, but they have these next 3 games at home against Missouri State on Thursday, which I believe is national televised. I can't remember what it's on. It might be CBS. I can't remember. They play against FIU on Saturday, so Zodie Jackson will be making his return to the Pan Am. And then play against Delaware next Wednesday, which is weird to have a conference game on a Wednesday. Haven't had that happen in a while. But 3 teams we've already played. We beat Delaware by nearly 30 on the road. Again, we're talking about that today, and scored almost 100 points. It was an awesome game overall. Really good to see them play hard and well. So if they can do that damage on the road, it'd be nice if they could do that at home. I'm not sure if they'll win by the same amount, but I believe they can still get a big home win against them. I don't want it to be a situation like last year where we beat UTEP by 28 on the road and then ended up losing to them at home by 3. So we'll see how it goes. Obviously, FIU is a huge loss on the road. Probably our worst loss in conference so far, but I believe at home they'll do a lot better. Missouri State, we came back, took the lead for a little bit, just couldn't hold on for the win. Again, at home, I think they can do a lot better. Even though they're 3-4, their worst start to conference since Coach Hoon's been here. They've also had a really, I think Conference USA is just really tough and packed this year. A little bit more tougher teams, but I think win these next 3 games at home, which is going to be really hard to do, but it's definitely possible. And if they do that, improve to 10-1 at home on the year, 6-4 to start conference, it'll be their best start to conference since Coach Hoon's been here. Because Coach Hoon's first year, we started off 5-3, then we lost 6 straight, and then we started off 5-3 last year, then lost 3 straight. So even though it won't be as great of a start, like if we win next game, which would be 4-4 instead of 5-3, so have a chance to get more wins sooner than previous years. We'll start off talking about that Liberty loss. I know nobody likes to talk about a loss, but we have to. And we'll finish the video strong talking about a win. That's just the order how it happened. The Aggies got to a solid start. They started up 8-4. They let Liberty go on a big 10-0 run. The Aggies were able to hit some shots to keep it somewhat close. And then Liberty just went on a huge run. It was like 10-0. They got by 15, up by 17 at halftime, 46-29. Jamel was playing well. The team, they were doing their best, working hard, missing some free throws. But speaking of free throws, I believe Jamel was the only one to shoot free throws that game, but only went 2 for 4. Wish he would have, shot a little better, made all of them. Because if he would have made 2 of those, would have went to overtime. But first only shoot 4 free throws compared to, I think, Liberty shot 18. Kind of crazy. It's just one of those things. Against Liberty, we always have heartbreaking losses to them in every sport. In football, we've lost to them so many games in, close outcomes. Same with women's basketball this year. Same with most sports. It's just really frustrating, even soccer as well. Jamel had a chance. We were down by 1, 71-72. I love the execution. I love that we were able to get to Jamel. That's something we talked about last video, how we needed to do, and they did just that. I think Coach Hooten and the coaching staff drew up a great game plan. With about 5 seconds left, Jamel got a clean look, just didn't fall. Obviously, we had a foul. They made him Liberty made the first free throw, missed the second on purpose because the game was already over. They didn't want to take a chance of missing it, and then the Aggies inbound and somehow make a half-court shot. And it sucks too, that same day I saw so many game winners around college basketball. I was like, man, why couldn't we have done that? I thought Jamel played a great game. I thought he put himself in the best position possible to get a clean look. Unfortunately, just didn't fall. Obviously, those close games are really scary, but if we're in a situation like that again, would love the Aggies to capitalize on it, because I feel like they've been in a lot of those games and haven't been able to get the win. They've also been in situations where they've been able to get the win, like against UNM and stuff. And UNM's having a great start to the year. I was talking to a friend of mine recently, like that win against them is looking really, really good. I know we were at home, both teams. It was early in the year. They hadn't really found an identity yet, but it's still great to beat them. So maybe it was a good thing to play them at the start of the year. That's something I was kind of worried about. Maybe some UNM fans were worried about it too, because it's so early. That was our first true test, against a Division I team being a rival. But we did very well. I thought, we had a good chance at winning it. I predicted us to win by 1, 83-82, kind of like we did Texas A&M Corpus Christi last year. Still got the win. Got the win by 8, and I'll take that any day of the week. The Aggies came back. They were able to tie it, but could just never take the shot or make the shot to get that lead. Liberty was giving them chances. They'd be like 3 to 4 possessions in a row where Liberty wasn't scoring. And the Aggies just couldn't score at that point. And obviously they went on a heater to get back in the game as it was. So it's really hard to stay more consistent after that. But really wish they obviously would have got it done. It would have been a great look for the team. But, they bounced back, less than 48 hours later and got a huge win on the road against Delaware. So let's talk about that game. From the start, the Aggies started really good. Went up 5-0, 8-2, 10-5. I don't think the Aggies trailed at all. Won by 29 in the end. They built up a good lead. They were able to maintain it. They got up by over 20. They're by 19 at halftime, 49-30. I believe Delaware got within 10, like 51-41. So they got it a little close there. But the Aggies were able to build it back up. Jamel had a nice and one to get to 13 and 14 with a made free throw. He played a great game overall. Had 19 points. He only has one game this year where he scored over 20 against a Division I team, but he's had like 2 or 3 of these 19-point games. Just hasn't cracked that 20-point just yet. But the Aggies shot the ball really well, shot well from the free throw line. It was one of those games that they were able to blow out. Kind of felt like that Southwest game. Obviously, we didn't win by 70 plus, and it was against an actual Division I team. But it was nice to see some of the other guys that don't play as much get in. Marco Doyle got in and hit a 3. I really like his shooting. I'm not sure if he's a guy that will. He won't get probably true minutes this year, but maybe next year. You never know if he stays, get some new recruits and stuff. But he's been in the program longer. Maybe he gets a chance to play next year because he played really well at the JUCO level last year, averaged double figures. You can see why. I mean, the 3 games he's played this year, he's only played like 6 minutes total, but he scored 9 points. He's hit 3 in each game, and his shooting percentage isn't bad either. I think, he only shot 1 shot last game. I think one of the other games he only took 2 or 3. One of the games he might have took 5 or 6 and missed a little bit. But he comes in and he gets buckets. And I know it's against, the other teams, guys that don't play as much. But that just goes to show you he kind of separates himself. And hopefully those guys can keep on getting chances to go out there and showcase their skills. Not in blowouts, where we're getting blown out, but blowouts where we're blowing out the other team, just like Saturday. Both Sierra Malonga and Gabe Pickens have not been playing as much. Those are both guys that have started the year and played a lot of big minutes up until recently. I was really happy to see that Chris Terrell was implemented into the lineup. I think he had 2 really, really good games, hit some clutch shots against Liberty. I believe he had 7 points against Delaware, had some nice shots there as well. I think he fits the system really well. Him and Elijah complement each other really well. I love Gabe Pickens. Would love to see him try to get a little more playing time as well. It's one of those things where I think Coach Hooten, he's only going to play 2 guards. We have, Gabe, Elijah, Elijah Elliott, which that's his full name, obviously. Have Gabe, Elijah, and Chris. In the first couple games of conference, he was just mainly playing Elijah and Gabe. A little bit of Chris. There were some games where he wasn't playing at all. And now we're seeing mainly Elijah and Chris, and not much of Gabe. So I'm not sure if he's going to try to implement all 3 because I know Gabe was struggling for a little bit, and I wanted to see Chris get some more PT. But that didn't mean I don't want Gabe to play at all. Again, Coach Hooten knows what he's doing. He knows what's best, and I really love the decision to play Chris more. I think that was a great idea. I don't mind him getting more minutes than Gabe, or even possibly having a starting position or starting role. I think Elijah's earned that though, so we'll see kind of how Coach Hooten goes with that. Would love to see Gabe get out there and play hard. But I think he's handled the situation well. He only played 3 minutes last game. Hit a 3. Was out there playing with his teammates, getting those younger guys or the guys that don't play as much some good looks, and just being a true leader for those guys. So that's great to see out of your sophomore point guard. Anthony's been playing very, very well. Same with Jacoby. He's been playing really well also. The whole team playing great. Like Kyrese has, improved so much, has played a solid role. Anthony's been hitting those 3s, spotted the 3s, kind of screens, hitting some big shots. Some of the shots he wasn't hitting early on in conference, he's playing really well. Juice is playing exceptionally well as well. Right now we have Jamel and Juice as our 2 double-digit scorers. Jamel's averaging about 16, and then Juice is averaging right over 10, and Elijah's averaging right under 10. And then Anthony and Jalen Randall, those are 2 guys that are, right in that 8-9 range, so maybe they can get up to 10 as well. We only have 2 double-digit point scorers technically in the team. We have so many guys that can fill it up. We have a lot of guys on the team this year who have scored double figures in multiple games. So much skill in this team. Again, you just got to learn how to balance it out. And it was nice to finally get that first road game. I know some people were like, oh, well, it was against Delaware. They haven't had a great start to the year. It's their first year in conference. Any win's a good win. And to win by 30 against anybody after having those road struggles to start the year is huge. Hopefully that can kind of wake them up and, hey, we have that feeling of winning on the road. We can do this now. Not only did we win, but we blew them out. I think these next 3 games are going to be super crucial. Again, not bad teams at all. FIU, Missouri State, going to be tough to beat at home. Delaware, they're going to try to bounce back and get a big win. They're embarrassed that they lost by 30 on the at their home, and try to come in and get a big road win, like we've done, and like a lot of teams in conference have done so far. A lot of teams are shifting that narrative where it's so hard to win on the road in conference, but they've been doing better. Again, I don't want that game to be like kind of like UTEP last year, where UTEP, they were upset. I mean, that was more of a rival game. They were embarrassed. They lost by 30 in their home court. They came out and beat us at the Panna for the first time in 14 years. So you got to congratulate them for that. So we got to expect Delaware's going to kind of come with the same attitude. So the Aggies got to match that. They were favored in all 3 games, especially being at home. I know we lost that last home game in Middle Tennessee, but that should have been a win. When you limit the team to only score 59 points, you should be able to win. And with how good we started, should have got that win. The students will be back. The student section should be packed. I'm expecting that. Barstool always does a great job with that. I'm sure the fans will come out, especially after getting that first road win. Got to continue winning games to get the fans out there. Again, it'd be nice if fans could just show up regardless of winning or losing. But we've done a lot of winning this year. We've done some losing as well, but we're getting better. 4-7 in our last 11 after starting 6-0. But hey, if you win these next 3 straight, you go 7-7 after that 6-0 start, and you're right about where you were at that 6-0 start, and you win 4 in a row. That's huge to do in conference. That would put you at 6-4 halfway through, on pace to win 12 games, which would put you probably within a top 4 or 5 spot like last year. But maybe it's a situation where they played better in the second half of the year and are able to finish with 13 or 14 wins, and that could give you a spot at the top 3 or 4. I would love to be, obviously the number 1 seed, but Liberty looks like they have that unlocked. I think they're 9-0. They beat UTEP by double digits by about 11. I think it was like 80-69 or something if they beat us. So they're on pace to do a lot of great things. But I still think the Aggies can finish top 3, top 5. We'll just have to see how it all plays out. Let me know in the comments what your analysis of the games were, what players you thought stood out, what players you think need a little bit of work, how you guys think these games are going to go. Let me know if you're surprised at all by how these games went this past weekend, kind of what your predictions were going in, and what you thought of the games overall. Again, like I've said multiple times in this video, going to be hard to win all 3 of those games, but it'll put you in such a great spot if you do. I think they'll win at least 2. If they win only 1 or none, that would be obviously really bad. And it's definitely not impossible. I mean, anybody can beat anybody on any given night, like we said. But I feel like they can at least get 2 wins. If they can win all 3, that'd be great. Especially with Missouri State and FIU, you do not want to get swept by anybody in Conference USA. It's not fun. Last year, we only got swept by Liberty, and that was it. So it would be nice if we get these 2 wins at home. FIU is a team that we are 3-2 currently against. We swept them last year. We split with them a year prior. We beat them at the Pan Am the past 2 years. So we'll see if we can keep that trend going. It'd be nice to beat a former Aggie. We all love Zadie Jackson, but it'd be nice if we could beat a former Aggie at New Mexico State. Don't want to lose to him. It's kind of like with Coach Huden, playing against Sam Houston, his old team. We're 2-3 against them, 0-1 against Zadie. So we want to try to get to a point where we're even, or even have winning records against those former Aggies for sure. Against Missouri State's a great team. They've played really well in conference. We played some of the top dogs. Middle Tennessee's up there, Western Kentucky's up there. Just going to show you how crazy tight this conference is.